introduce, I am co-founder and CEO of Moti, where science plus design equals better habits. Now, my personal background is in designing and building truly human-centered products. So I studied mechanical engineering and art at Yale as an undergrad. And since then, I've taught design thinking at Northwestern, won a Core 77 award, and worked as a product designer at SC Johnson. And now I'm joined today by my lovely co-founder, Laura Day, who actually started her career off building robots for the military with an EE degree before transitioning over to the business world with an MBA from HBS, leadership development and Intel. And actually, before joining Moti, she spent a year with Clayton Christensen studying the disruptive innovation space in the consumer robotics world. Now today, Laura and I see two trends when it comes to consumer wellness. The first one is that our health, the shifting dialogue about our health is starting with the consumer, and it's starting directly with habits. By these days, we know the activities and behaviors we should be doing. We should be sleeping more, exercising more, drinking more water, starting that meditation routine, etc. Now, the problem, as you probably know, is that we as humans are horrible at habit formation. We look at New Year's resolutions as a proxy. In America, 80% of Americans who attempt them each year fail. Now, for those of us who fail, which I definitely am a part of, we turn to technology for help. And the second trend we see is that our smart devices are becoming more behaviorally mature. First, it was all about apps. There's an app for that. These days, we have hundreds of apps, and they're all sending us notifications, and it's very hard to rise above the noise. So what comes next? Next came wearables, right? With the promise of a physical, dedicated device that goes with you everywhere. If you can track it, you can change it. But it turns out that's not actually true. That's not how our brains work. We need more than just numbers and data and tracking for true behavior change. So now the question is, what comes next, right? Well, we are in the rise of companions and AI. Our IoT devices are finally starting to understand our underlying psychology, and this is exactly the era where Moti lives in. What we've done at Moti is we've taken a deep dive at the brain science behind habit formation. When we learned that it's not about knowledge, it's not a lack of data, not a lack of sensing, it's not even a lack of intrinsic motivation. What it is first is it's a lack of the right triggers and rewards. And these are two parts to what is called a habit loop. This is what you need to do over and over again to solidify a new habit into the brain. Now, the other missing piece is emotional accountability. Now, this is something about why something like a gym buddy works so well. They're able to keep you accountable. So introducing Moti. We are creating a new IoT device that helps people with habit formation, making it deceptively simple and delightful by building them a personal habit champion. The way we're doing that is by combining insights from the last 10 years of academic research, by combining behavioral science with social robotics. And together, we're bringing that into the consumer world. And from the consumer's perspective, Moti's first feature is his physicality. So he becomes what's known as an environmental cue, meaning Willie here at work wants to hydrate more. One glance is all that it takes for him to be reminded. And now when you do that good behavior, you let Moti know through the simplicity and satisfaction of a push button. Moti's going to celebrate with lights and sounds and haptics. Perhaps you experienced that out in the demo booths. And this is very, very simple, but it's very Pavlovian. It's acknowledging your small win and getting that positive feedback loop in. Now, however, if you are not doing so hot at your habit, like Angela here skipping a run day, your Moti might get sad or angry at you, or it might be purely encouraging. And it's these emotive reminders that go so much deeper than just a push notification or a graph. Now, Moti comes with a companion app, so we help set you up for success. We help you pick the right habit. We make sure that habit is small and actionable and tied to an existing routine. We also give you a quick personality profile, and this is the baseline for what is our main IP. Because what we're doing in the back end, Moti is connected to Wi-Fi, and we're building a back-end machine learning engine that understands per individual, per habit, what is exactly the right type of interactions Moti should have. Right now, we put people into 3 different motivational buckets. Are you going to be nudged more by fear, by empathy, or by hope? And these buckets dictate your entire Moti experience. So when is Moti getting angry? When is he getting sad or encouraging? Because some people, they need that drill sergeant. They need to be yelled at all the time. For others, that's going to be the worst possible thing for their habit and their motivation. They'll close off completely. They need cheerleader Moti all the time. Now, these buckets also dictate how we communicate with you through our dashboards and our digests. So I'll give you an example. For our beta users, those that fell into the hope category, when they saw their habits score in a numerical way with a downward inflection arrow, that was extremely demotivating for them. So we learned that no, we need to showcase where you are. We have to always have upward progress, positive reinforcement purely for them. We'll also detect when you're automatically falling off because let's face it, what we learned is everyone is going to fall off with their habit at least once. You go on vacation, you get sick, whatnot. We will detect that and automatically update your settings so that you don't have to proactively go out and do that. Now let's talk business. So we're starting with a simple B2C model. So device sales starting at $79 paired with a freemium model in our app. So this premium subscription, these are habit modules, so further coaching on very specific habits, tips, and tricks. And then in-app purchases as well. So imagine your Moti wants to sound like R2-D2 or Wally. That is an example of an in-app purchase. We're then expanding into bulk sales partnerships and white labeling, and eventually in 2018 landing on our API licensing. So an example here, let's say we're going to have smart water bottles, we have standing desks. Imagine that these products now have a personality, and it's a personality that is Moti specific, and it's specific to the behavior change of that product. Our first target market is busy but aspirational millennials. So millennials are twice as likely to make New Year's resolutions, very aspirational. They're also spending 25% of their disposable income on health and wellness. Pair that with being natural early tech adopters, and our bottoms-up TAM is $2.5 billion just for this first market alone. And we're going to be launching them very, very shortly. So we are having a Kickstarter in September of this year. And to narrow in, we have narrowed in on the top 3 trending habits with millennials. So that's movement, meditation, and hydration. And we know that this will work because it already has. Last year, we ran a beta. We saw over 2,000 people apply with intent to buy at $65, and that was through purely organic means. What we also found is that there's a 16% conversion rate on our landing page to beta application, which is extremely, extremely good when you compare that to the average. So what we ended up doing, we could not ship 2,000 instantaneously, so we shipped 35 across the country. And we studied those users for a month, and what we found is that 85% of users surveyed said that Moti was essential to their habit progress. And another 85% said they would recommend it to friends and family. Now, why is that? Well, the reason, if you talk to our beta users, is because Moti provides a simpler and more meaningful interaction than the competition. What I mean by that is, one of our wonderful users put it great. It's like you're impressing someone even though it's not actually a someone. As another user put it, you don't have to put on your Moti, it's not like a wearable, you don't have to charge it, put it on, and form 2 habits just to get to the actual habit that you were trying to form in the first place. Oh boy, I don't know what happened. I'm just going to keep going. You remember it said physical, emotive, seamless, and so when our users say that, what they don't realize is there's actually science that says exactly those points, and this is the science of behavior change. All right, I'm going to do some technical. Aha, wonderful. Yes, science. All right. But this is just our first product. So as we move forward, we're going to be expanding our product line, whether that's Moti for kids, for the elderly. We'll also be pursuing partnerships and co-marketing and co-creation, and eventually, of course, landing into Powered by Moti, our API licensing. When you look at the market for habit formation, it is virtually unlimited. And we've got the team to get there. So together, Laura and myself as founders, we cover hardware, operations, logistics, strategy, design, etc. And our team members come in rounding out with software, marketing, analytics, and psychology.